Agundu. Is Dr. Godwin Agundu here? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Godwin Agundu, please. I believe you're from the Lagos Business School, from the LBS at the Pan Atlantic University. All right, so I've been the one giving everybody time, so I'm going to give myself time on this one, make it as short as possible. So let's just get straight to it. Finding the money for your journalistic enterprise. I don't know if it's okay to start with the gentleman. You know, usually we'll say ladies first, because men are usually in the majority. But since we are in the minority here, let me ask for your permission to start with the gentleman. Is it granted? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start from Dr. Godwin Agundu. You're with the Lagos Business School, so this is your forte. What would be your first word of advice to journalists who have that entrepreneurial edge?
Package yourself, that's the first thing. You have to believe in yourself, believe you have something to offer, so that belief will go into packaging. You could have a good product, if you don't package it well, nobody buys it. So yourself as a person has to be packaged. I listened to the last discussions and we're hearing of ladies who are flippant, ladies who, go to work and you just, you give excuse and all that. When you do that, you don't package yourself. Package yourself to the extent that that thing that is inside of you is stronger, better than what is inside of a man or someone else, in case you want to bring that up. So when you package yourself, it creates confidence. That confidence is what you now push out into the market to meet people and say, excuse me, I have something, I want to sell it, kindly buy it or support me. So packaging is very essential. Fantastic.
I'll come to Agatha now. Do you agree with that? You're someone who a lot of people know has packaged herself well. So would you agree with that?
From my point of view, I think the key thing is content. Everybody is in business to be known. Every business is in business to be known. So everybody has something that they want to sell. Now you as a content developer, as a journalist, as a program owner, as whosoever you are, it means you have a platform that is available as a blogger, whatever you do, for somebody else who has a product to sell to use. Now, what we find a lot of the time is that people do not package that content for sale. They package it for pleasure. It is based on what I like, the kind of stories I am interested in, the kind of things I want to do, rather than what the other person is looking for. So how do you get I don't care about your product, I care about my product. So why should I put my money into your product if you haven't tailored it to suit my needs and I'm the one who's spending? I mean, you can sew 10 suits. If I don't find anything I like, I will leave your shop without buying any. So that money has gone out and it's going to go to somebody who has done something I am looking for. I think that's the major problem we find in media. We do things that we like. There's no research, no thought put into what it is we're doing. And the simplest example I can use is Inside Out, which is the program I've had on air for 18 years. How have I been able to sustain it for 18 years? I do not rely on your 60 seconds advertising. I found out that for every topic I treat, I am advertising somebody. Whether it's government, a private hospital, it's issue driven. And it's about the things that affect us. So somebody must be at an advantage and somebody must be at a disadvantage. Now, why would I let you come and start to sell your product on my program if you are not paying me? There's no reason. Be you government, be you whosoever, you have something to say, come and say it. Just pay me. So as you are opening your mouth, I'm getting paid. It's that simple. And that is why I can be on air without a single commercial running and the program is still running, because the content itself generates money.
I think we can put our hands together for that. Now, you've said a lot, and I immediately wrote these two words down: medium and message. So you're saying that beyond the medium, and we get into what the mediums are. It's also about packaging the message in a way that the public is interested or benefits from it, because the bankers who are here, who the financiers, want to see that, you know, this is something that is sustainable. This is something that is profitable. The advertisers would only, you know, advertise if they see that people are connecting with the message. So would you agree with that? And let me come to you, Uchenna. I know that we love to hate the banks because, you know, the requirements, all the issues. But Agatha just talked about research, market research, and understanding what the public needs.
Right.
Is that something you check before you?
Absolutely. I mean, she couldn't have said it any better. So if someone comes to us, comes to the bank, I want to know that you've thought it through, end to end, because you're selling yourself to me. It's something. It's an idea that you're passionate about. But for me to buy into it, I'm going to poke holes into it. So you should have done your research. You should have thought of all your different stakeholders. You should have thought of your customers. You should have thought about how I'm going to return my, you know, the ROI I'm going to get from what you're doing. So if you've thought it through, then I have better content or confidence in you as you're doing your presentation. But once I can poke a hole in it, believe you me, as you're talking, I'm already like, you know. So, but if you come in confident, you know your product. I'm a banker. I don't know your product, but you're selling something to me. And I'm listening to you because you need to sell me the idea that I'm going to be able to leverage whatever product you have to sell to me. So again, I'm a little skeptical already. And if I'm going to start poking holes into it, you should be ready to say, I already thought about it. What about this? I thought about it. What about that? I thought about it. What is the contingency plan? I got about it. And so if I'm here to make money, there's no reason why I shouldn't support you. So again, it's content, be authentic. Make sure you've thought it through end to end. Make sure you're not doing a Me Too product, because then it's not authentic. Because somebody did it, me stuff, I'm going to do it type of thing. If you have an idea, think it through and then present it. And most banks will jump on it because we're looking for something innovative. We're looking for something that's going to give us money, give us return. So why wouldn't we support it? And I think, I'm sorry, I just want to say one thing, is there's a tendency for women to feel that, and I you know, again, excuse me for saying this, but there's a tendency for women to think, oh, well, I'm a woman, so I don't have to be 100%. And I think that's where the problem may be. Again, excuse me for saying that, but when I'm looking at a product or I'm looking at, and you know, whatever it is you're selling to me, I am not sitting there saying it's a woman. I'm not sitting there, even though I'm a woman and I'm empathetic to women ideas and stuff. And so, who was it that said, and there was a guy, the lady that was here earlier that said, when a woman has thought it through, and she's passionate about it, and her delivery, the way she's talking to you about it, and she's telling you as a banker, your ROI is going to be this, I will jump on that faster than I would when I'm with a man. So that's what I have to say.
All right, so that's very important. Do you agree? I mean, you're a banker yourself, Mrs. Akintunde, and even though there's something important that she said, and she said it multiple times, you know, if I'm going to make money from it, you know, so clearly the banks are looking out, you know, for their own interests, and in, I mean, look, we know the economy, we know, you know, how expensive, you know, debt is and all of that, you know, how the interest rates and how hard it is to access some of these loans. And Dr. Agunde is already heaving a sigh. What would your response be on that one?
Okay, she couldn't have put it any better in that people have to think through what they want to do. But like you said, really, the banks are there to make money. It's not really a charity organization, so we have to make money. But what I always say to people, especially women, because I deal a lot with women, is that your business must be able to pay for its facility. So people will give you a loan if the business that you want to do can actually pay for itself. Therefore, all this collateral that you say we ask for, people are so upset with the banks that they're always asking for this and that and the other. They're not supposed to be the primary source of repayment. They're supposed to be a fallback in case. But one thing that I always tell people to always do, especially if you're not financially savvy, and not everybody can be, is that you should get financial advice. I ran into somebody who made the mistake of selling her house to buy an equipment to make money, when you could have used the house to get a facility to do the same thing. Do you understand? So it's important that you get advice. You're not supposed to be perfect in every area, and financial is some area that people are generally quite scared of. Therefore, it's important that you get whatever financial advice that you can get, and then have a good business plan. Do a lot of research, like Uche has said, and package your product. You have to be confident in your product. And when you go to a bank and you also want to make a financial commitment into that business, it shows that you are more committed to it. So I think that really it's just about thinking it through, being able to have a plan that will work.
I'll come to you, Doctor. But let's get to Agatha now. Let's hear your story. You started off with Inside Out. You did it for, you're still doing it. You've done it for 18 years, but now you have your own TV channel. So how did you do it? Did FCMB or Access Bank give you money, or was it another bank? Let us know. What happened? How did you?
I'm really afraid of banks.
So how were you able to start off your own TV channel?
Like I said, 18 years is a very long time to be in one business, and you have to know where you're going. I mean, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's not viable, like they said, there's no need being there. It didn't start in one day. I mean, there was a time when the program was on air, and I remember I always use Mr. John Momo for this example, because Channels is about the same age as Inside Out, incidentally. And when they started, I remember people saying, Nigeria cannot have a TV station that will survive on news. We like drama, we like music, we like, and for years it was really difficult to get advertising. Channels TV is one of the longest TV stations that I've been on. I've been on Channels TV for 18 years, and Channels TV has been in existence for 18 years. Now, I remember there was a comment he made to me. We were both looking for advertising, and nobody was advertising. First of all, people were saying to me, why don't you do drama? Why don't you do music? Why don't you do this? And nobody seemed to get it. I would go to do presentations to try to get advertising, and then they will say to me, talk shows. Who watches talk shows in Nigeria? Is it the mothers? Is it where do we put you? Who is going to, I had all those things I had to do. It was a very difficult thing. And John Momo said to me, when I was complaining to him, we had been on air for like 2 years, no advertising. He said, don't deviate from what you believe in. One day, they will come on board with you. Then, even Channels didn't have advertising. Today, Channels is the most authentic source for news in Nigeria. And so it is not going to be easy, but if you stay with it and you know why you're doing what you're doing, eventually, things will happen. What I said now, where people pay for certain topics that I treat, I invite them and I charge them, and they come, is because they have seen that I have been, consistent. And when it comes to this issue, she's an authority. So somebody wants a campaign that would reach out to young people or to masses or to women, they come to me. And then we work out a topic. And they are paying. They have their representative there. And I still ask them all the questions.
So I'll pay if I come on Inside Out?
Well, it depends on what you are coming for.
All right.
There are topics I do that are just general interest topics. Okay. Because I'm passionate. I have not removed anything from the substance of what I do. And so, yeah, it took a long while. It took 18 years, but here we are today.
So for the TV channel that you just started, how were you able to,
raise the funds? First of all, I think the thing is, like for me, Inside Out is the only program where I have my face. But at a time, I had about 7 programs running on TV. I had music, I had some entertainment program, I had drama, I had Inside Out, I had other things. And one of the things I learned, which is why I'm saying this, is that my content generates my income, not the conventional advertising. I can tell you sitting down here that Inside Out paid for every other thing that I'm doing. I never took a bank loan.
You can put our hands together for that, yeah.
And it didn't happen overnight. I could in a quarter from an Inside Out recording generate 60, 70 million from the content. So whatever comes in after that is extra. It did not, when I say this, people think, there were days of sorrow, tears, and blood, where even to record was a problem. We started out recording in Unilag, using chairs like this with tables over them, in classrooms. We've done all of that. But you have to be sure of why you're doing what you must have a flat plan, you must have a vision. You must have a goal for whatever it is you're doing. Don't do it, like they said, because somebody else is doing it. Don't say, when you now find this is what is fashionable, you leave what you started with and go and start doing something else. I think that's the major thing.
All right, Dr. Agundo, you're with the Lagos Business School, and you guys are the experts when it comes to research, putting together the plans, also training people. I was maybe off the stage we can discuss this, but I think journalists deserve some form of incubator, or a platform where we can learn how to really put together the business plans, do the research to start off enterprises, media enterprises. But for the benefit of those who are here, what tips would you give? You talked about packaging, but then down to the business plan, what Auntie Uchenna and Auntie Aino want to see for them to open the door to the vault?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to introduce us, in case we don't know yet, that the Lagos Business School is a school that has sister schools. There's a particular sister school of itself, which is School of Media Communications. So I easily advise us to look up our programs. A number of them could be of interest to you. We teach business plans, that we teach so much about media. Now let me just say this quickly. I wanted to say this when Madam made her point about you getting money. But from what Agatha said, I think it sorts it out. You don't look for a startup in this our environment by going to the bank to borrow money. The bank will give you a moratorium of 3 months or thereabouts. Then they start charging you the interest. They start asking for their monies back. And you and I know that Nigeria, as a business environment, will not guarantee you a safe haven in 3 months for your business. So that's why I started by talking about packaging. When you package yourself, if you went to school, even if you didn't finish at first class, so many experiences would have gone through your life that can pitch you into a particular worldview. You could come up with some interest levels, some area, and package yourself in there. Then you now walk into society. There are people you will speak with on the road who can give you 1 million naira. There are people that you could walk up to, and ladies, it's easier for you. I'm not saying you should do anything inordinate. Don't get me wrong. You have something about you that when you present it to someone that has some careless money, they can go ahead and support your project. Now, what we also advise some people is this. You don't have to even go alone. Go 2, 3, 4 of you, bond together, come up with some kind of a consortium arrangement.
I think you're up to something here that is quite interesting. And you're saying that journalists need to, because there's this, I can do it on my own thing, right? So we need to, come together and form teams.
You need to pull your individual abilities. You need to form teams, and then go in that platform, go out. She talked about 18 years. I've been watching Agatha for quite a while on TV. I must say that. All right. I wish you could, because it's not just I've watched her programs on TV before. Okay, I'll sit and I'll watch. I remember those days when your studios used to be very interesting, But thank God now it's a TV station. You have a TV station. You get the point. So you push through. Don't go to the bank. I used to be a banker.
Okay.
I resigned from a bank as a senior manager. Okay, so I can tell you straight away, they'll come for you. Now, there are people, there are uncles you have, there are aunties you have, okay, that if you package yourself well, you come with some good ideas, they will support you.
Okay.
They will support you for nothing. So go for them first. Right. That's what finance people advise. Startups, go for zero interest monies that can help you, all right, to consolidate.
Dr. Agundo, I'm going to allow the bankers respond to your allegations. If we are journalists, we have to see both sides. Give each side the opportunity to speak, and then we'll wrap up on the digital age. You know, how the sort of new businesses and new opportunities that come with this digital age. Now, I remember when Linda Ikeji's blog was shut down. You know, people talked about how much she makes in a year from advertising on her blog. So with Twitter, with the blogs, with websites, you can actually have an online media business and enterprise. So we'll just have one round of talk on that, but then the banks first.
Okay. The truth of the matter is that, let's be real, how many people have careless money lying around? That, I mean, well, maybe not nobody, but I believe that it's not many people that will have an uncle or somebody that has free money lying around. If you do get it, then fantastic. But if you don't, there are some softer loans that you can take. Not every loan is difficult. Not every loan is so harsh. Yes, I know what you mean, but especially for startups, because they're still trying to break even and all of that. But it's still about packaging yourself. Even if you still feel you need to approach a financial institution and you'll be paying for it, package yourself properly and let the business be able to pay.
I think the only thing I can add to that is also take your time to research even the financial institution you want to approach, because every financial institution has things that are their main drive, their strategy. The more aligned you are to them or with them, the more funding becomes easier. And then we talk about funding in so many ways. When you talk about, oh, you come to get a loan, when people think of banks, they're thinking of, oh, this bank is going to, the loan and the interest rate is going to be so high. But I've actually had situations where women-owned businesses, mainly because I think I was talking to somebody and saying, one thing with FCMB is we are consciously looking to soften our brand. And as a result, we are paying attention to women-owned businesses, because we figured, one, women tend to be a little bit afraid of our pillars. And we're like, that bank is, old school, is very rigid, is very male-dominated. So again, if you're a women-owned business then and you did your research, you would say, FCMB is a bank that is consciously trying to do something. I'm not saying other banks are not. I'm just saying that's an example of certain.
It's interesting to have just
hold on.
Cast those glances at you.
So that's one thing. Make sure you do your research. That's one. Two, the other way to think of funding is, okay, if a bank has a couple of initiatives they're doing, if you're a startup or you're an SME, you can tap into other programs that the bank is offering, even if it's for a short term. Because one thing we also do is we do something called value add. So if you come to us and you're saying, okay, I have this proposal, I have this, and we look at it, you can see, like I said, I'm a corporate comms person. I'm not a banker. I'm not going to review your loan or whatever, but this is the value add I can provide. I can sit with you, which is what we do, and I can say, okay, what is it that she's doing? What is it that we can do to take your business to the next level? And that's where sponsorship comes in. That's where CSR comes in. That's where you can tap into some of the grants we do, some of the funds we do, because we sit with you and we try to identify if you're a client that we can do something tailor-made. If you have a potential to fit into what we have in terms of format. And so those are the kind of things we look at. So I guess I'm saying all of this to say, yes, it's hard to get funding. And I'm sure all banks do it in different ways. You just have to find, okay, which bank does what? And how can I tap into that thing that they're doing to help give me the best advice and help me grow?
Okay.
And those are the things I wanted to mention.
All right. So the final thing out with the digital age. So I just talked about Linda KJ. Also, Token Makinwa was recently given a YouTube star. So we have people who earlier we had Sisi. Was that Sisi Fumi? Sisi Yemi, rather. Forgive me. Here, and these are people who using YouTube, using Twitter, blogs, make a lot of money. Olori Supergirl too, with her blog. These are business.
Well, there's a new generation now who are essentially on the go. And whatever business you want to do now, however you want to do it, you have to make sure you're in line with that target audience market thing. One of the first things we did with RaveTV as soon as we started, we had a lot of interactive programming because I deal with a lot of young people, and people will call and they'll say, oh, I go late to work every time, I need the apps, you guys should get apps. And I started to ask, what's apps? Because until last month I didn't have an Instagram account, because I thought to myself, who takes pictures and then does selfie for no reason? Like, I'm in the bathroom, selfie. But guess what, I cannot say that I have a youth oriented station and I don't have all these things. Then I'm not serious, because it is a business. And so one of the first things I did was to ask, please, how do they do apps? What is apps? They now told me that you have to get an application. RaveTV has to be on the go. I have in my office now an office just for the social media. And if you take any one of your phones, Android, Windows, I'm trending now. I can tell you everything. But what am I saying? I had to learn, or else I'm not serious about my business. So we have our apps available on all the platforms as we speak today. I did that even before I went out looking for advertising. And one of the things I found I was able to do is that when I'm talking to someone about marketing, I just press play and start to show them RaveTV with pride. And I'm like, this is so cool. And that is the essence of it. You have to look at your business and how to take advantage of the new media and help make it grow. That is essentially it.
Let me just do a rhetorical question. How many people know how they get about short codes? You look at your phone and some numbers just come in, pam pam, and you get some message and all that. Somebody sits somewhere. Let me tell you how it works, in case you don't. Now, sometimes it's tripartite. You as an individual, you're selling, so you have an idea. You package it like we've been saying here. You walk up to the MTNs and the rest. They have companies, they have the IT companies that develop short codes for them. You walk up to them and you sell the idea to them. So yours could be, okay, a particular area in media. Maybe you're looking for money, to make some quick money. So you just develop something. You walk up to any of these companies, they're all over, let me not advertise anybody. But you walk up to any of them and say, look, this is what I have. They will sit with you. If it's worth their time, if it's worth their money, they buy it from you. They enter into an agreement with you. They go to MTN, to a T-Salad, to the rest, and they sell it to them. Now look at what happens. The people, the T-Salads of this world, the MTNs of this world will negotiate. Well, okay, T-Salad, thank you. Oh, a T-Salad, thank you. All right. So a T-Salad will negotiate with that particular IT firm and say, okay, every money that comes through this particular short code, we'll share it with you 50-50. Example, okay? It could be 60-40, but let's say 50-50. Now, that IT firm now comes back to you, the originator, and say, okay, that's our 50% that we're getting. We'll share with you XYZ. You see, you have made money. So, as people are sending text messages through it, people are doing whatever, they say, okay, do this or listen to this news or get that and all that. You're making money. So that's one way that all the social media thing, can help us, raise capital that we need for our journalistic business.
I just want to say one thing, which is that one of the things that I guess I don't need to say that Access Bank is one of the foremost banks in women banking. And one of the things that we started since 2006. And one of the things that we do is to realize areas wherein women need assistance. So what we did is that for 1 year, right, we're empowering women with technology. We're training women. We're training women to help your businesses to grow. And this is happening every month for 1 year. So in this July, there's where we teamed up with an IT firm and we have heavily subsidized it. So the price is a third of what you would pay if you went. She attended, so did yeah. So it's one of those things that we are doing, and it will help your business. So you can get information from that at our desk downstairs, but we've advertised it in the papers and everywhere. And so we understand that women need to move in the digital age. And that was exactly the reason why we came up with that 1-year training. And we're not only doing it in Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, Enugu, so that we can take this digital age to women all around the country.
Fantastic. So we have a final comment from FCMB.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the question you asked is actually an excellent one. I think when people, I'm looking around and I'm seeing a lot of, youths, young people, university students and stuff. And I think what the digital media has actually been able to say to people is, you don't have to wait to come out of school to make money. You don't have to say, oh, you know what, there's no jobs out there, and so after school I'm not motivated or anything. That time has passed. Because your peers are doing so much more. I mean, I can even name Jobberman, for instance. There's so many companies out there. There's actually a lot of companies also that are using media to reach out to youths to give them jobs or to give them initiatives that can help them. There's a lot of incubators out there, again, reaching out to youths via online and stuff. So I think when people think of, enterprise, it's not like the typical enterprise of there has to be a structure, there has to be a capital, I have to wait for resource, manpower. You by yourself, if you think about all the people that have made so much money, even in the I always say in the overseas, are the people that started with just an idea. And so if they can do it, why can't you? That was one of the reasons why we brought the kids from Unilag, because we want to say to you that right now, even if you write an article, you can write an article and send it to, Madam Adesua here, and you'll be surprised how quickly she can say, you know what, come do something, an internship. Come, forget even Madam Adesua. You need an internship, you reach out to me. You write me an article about something that you think FCMB is interested in. Why wait for me to reach out to you? You send me an article, you send me a feature story that is relevant to the banking industry, you will be surprised how far it goes. So I think that's the big message here, is that social media and all of this, forget the negative, there's actually positive that can come from it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uchenna Mojoko, Agatha, Amata, Aino Akintonde, and Dr. Godwin Agundu. Please put your hands together for them. They've been wonderful. Finally, I get to show up in a picture.
Okay. Thank you very much.